Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Widener Show, powered by SoundGrab Studios. Visit online at soundgrabstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, SoundGrab Studios is the answer. SoundGrab Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@soundgrabstudios.com. Mention the Mike Widener Show, get 20% off your first project. SoundGrab Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Widener Show, international warring author Mia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosensia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Widener Show at themikewidenershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and now being heard on HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few networks coming soon near you. Take the Mike Widener Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Widener Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Widener Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Widener Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, baseball gear, and more. Amazon.com and check out the Mike Widener Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosensia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and phone cases and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosensia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Widener Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewidenershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Widener Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific lady who's the owner of a holistic therapy counseling service. She counsels teens and works to give them tools needed to navigate life, and takes a holistic approach therapy and looking at the whole person instead of the symptoms. We'll talk about that. She's also a speaker and a writer who educates teens and parents on topics teens that face every day. And she has a new book called Mental Health Uncensored, the 10 foundations every parent needs to know to give parents steps on how to basically to improve the child's mental health, and also explores why conventional mental health advice is not working and the 10 strategies that do. If you don't find out what the 10 strategies work, what the 10 strategies doesn't, this is a must for parents, teens alike who struggle with mental health and want to learn about more. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studio somewhere in beautiful New Jersey, the owner of Keri Cooper Holistic Therapy and the book Mental Health Uncensored, 10 Foundations Every Parent Needs to Know. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Keri Cooper. Keri, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me today.
What's great to have you on board, Keri. So you're the owner of Keri Cooper Holistic Therapy. You counsel teens and works to give them tools needed to navigate through life. You also take a holistic approach to therapy and look at the whole person instead of the symptoms. We'll talk about that. You're also a speaker and writer who educate the teens and parents on topics teens face every day. And of course, your new book is designed to give parents the steps on how to improve their child's mental health, and also explores why the conventional mental health advice is not working, and 10 strategies that do. We'll cover some of the strategies. And before getting to all that, Keri, tell us how I first got started.
How I first got started was I was in high school and I was not a good student, and I didn't really love high school. And I had a lot of friends who really struggled, and I was the person they turned to. So I was always listening to people and always listening to their issues. And I said, you know what? I want to make a career out of this. I love it. And I'm going to go to college for it. So I jumped right in. I've always worked strictly with teens and adolescents and, college kids. That's been my population. And they're really unique and special, and they have unique challenges.
And what gravitated towards working with the teens and such?
I think that they're just so open to suggestions and ways to improve their life. And they're also really struggling a lot with a lot of pressure and really trying to find out who they are.
Mm-hmm. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
I don't know if there's one exact moment, but I think there's many small moments along the way that I just said, you know what, kids really need somebody to be able to listen to them and not be judgmental, and be able to give them tools to help them throughout this journey, because it's not easy.
Mm-hmm. And of course, what one of them would be, though?
One of the tools, I think, There's many, many tools that these kids need, but one of them is resilience. They need to be able to problem solve. They need to be able to step aside from emotions and look logically at a problem, which, in the teens years, that's very hard to do. So it takes some, practice.
hmm and also too, like with teens are facing today, what was it like for teens? They faced like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago or somewhere around there. And what are some of the problems they face, during that time? And what are some of the different ones they encounter?
Right. The problems today are completely different. Today, these kids are so disconnected. They're so consumed with social media. They're almost living in this fake world. They're comparing themselves constantly to everybody else who's, posting on their social media platforms. And it's just this disconnected, unrealistic life that they're living. So their thought processes, they always need to be perfect. They always need to have the perfect post. They need to have enough likes. And they have this pressure on them all day long, and it just doesn't stop. So those are situations that are very unique to this, generation of, kids on the phones. But also we have a generation where parents are really almost overly involved many times and trying to prevent their kids from failing or having to problem solve on their own. And they're doing way too much. And these kids are growing up without any type of, problem solving skills.
And do you think that they're kind of like the helicopter pilots, just making sure every single one or so?
Absolutely. They don't, they're checking the portals at the school to see, did you miss a homework assignment? What was your test grade? Did you talk to your teacher? They're not letting the kids kind of take the ball and run with it. And they're really just not trusting their children enough to do it. And to know that your child is going to make mistakes. It's how we learn, it's how we grow. And they need to be able to work through that.
And what are some of the problems they faced like 10, 20 years ago? And do you think today's teens have it more difficult than what they did before too?
I think today's teens have it way more difficult than prior, just because their entire life is on display and on social media. And it was not like that years ago. So right now, I think that that's really one of the big issues that they're facing, is that they're constantly feeling judged and constantly feeling that everybody is seeing what they're doing, and they're not wrong.
And you also own of your own holistic therapy, which you counsel the teens and work to give them the tools needed to navigate life and take a holistic approach. And tell us about about your business and how you go about it.
Yeah, so my business, I really do take a holistic approach when I get these teens in my office. I don't just look at what symptoms they're coming in with, whether it be anxiety or depression. I really look at how their entire lifestyle is impacting that. So how are they eating? Are they hydrated? Are they sleeping? Are they exercising? All of this impacts our mental health. And I think for a while, we're so disconnected in that we don't really believe sometimes that food and water are actually impacting our mental health, but they do. So I think that needs to be a new way of looking at mental health at this point, that, everything is connected and we need to look at everything.
And do you think the quality in food and water is also affected as well too, like it was, I say, 10, 20, 30 years ago, somewhere around there?
Of course. I mean, studies show that an apple today is not the same as an apple, 50 years ago. It's completely different. And now there's chemicals in these food that our body, they just doesn't know what it is, doesn't know how to process it. And it's, really damaging our guts. And I think there's enough evidence out there at this point to see that there's really a link.
And of course, with the attention towards non-GMO products and everything else, it's finally coming to light as well too. And then hopefully that'll change soon.
Yes, hopefully it will. I think, people are starting to realize that our bodies just can't process the fake stuff, and we need to start eating real food.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, you're also a speaker and writer as well too. You educate teens and some of the topics every day. And besides some of the topics we talk about, what are some of the other topics that teen face as well too, besides social media?
Besides social media, I think they face a lot of pressure in school. I think the whole goal right now is to say, what college did you get into? And I think that, kids need to understand college is not for everybody, and that is perfectly fine.
Mhm.
And, there's other great jobs out there. And I think kids need to be encouraged to find what they enjoy and what they love, and not feel this pressure just to go to school because that's what everybody else is doing. And we have them now in the sense of like, they're constantly doing something just for the future, never for the present moment.
hmm it seems to be the big thing with YOLO. It's like you only live once, and that seems to be a pretty it seems really nice, but it's also damaging at the same time.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You need to kind of plan out your life and what that looks like, but you also need to be enjoying the moment as well. So I think it's a balance.
hmm And of course, you also have the 10 foundations parents need to know on mental health uncensored. And what are the 10 foundations? What works, what doesn't? We'll find out with Keri Cooper in her book, Mental Health Uncensored. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960 or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes, Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries. Also on HamiltonRadio.net, Oldies FM, Diamonds Radio, and a few networks coming soon. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with the owner of Keri Cooper Holistic Therapy and the book Mental Health Uncensored, the 10 foundations every parent needs to know here on the Mike Wagner Show. And first of all, tell us more about the book, Mental Health Uncensored, and what was that moment that simply inspired you to first start the book?
I was inspired to write the book during COVID. During COVID, we were really in a mental health crisis with these teenagers. I couldn't see enough. There's only one of me. All my other therapist friends were completely booked as well, and people were really struggling and needing help. And I said, you know what? So often in my sessions, I'm talking about the same principles over and over again. I need to take this time and write it out. That way all the parents can access this.
And of course, you have the book as well, too, that 10 foundations that every parent needs to know, and give us some of the foundations as well, too, what you need to know, and especially the ones that the strategies that work and some of the strategies that don't work.
The book is really broken down into 2 different parts. One is physical and one is more mental. So the physical aspects of it, I think people just don't always realize impact mental health. So the physical aspects are, food, water, sleep, exercise, and some form of meditation. Those are the ones that parents need to make sure are really being implemented on a daily basis. And for the parents to be doing as well, because they have to model this type of behavior. And the mental health side of it, it talks about what parents need to be kind of encouraging with their children, letting their children gain responsibility, letting their children be able to say no to others. So many kids have an issue with saying no and just take on too much. Teaching kids that they're not responsible for other people's feelings, teaching kids to be able to deal with disappointment, because this is part of life, and parents not just trying to make it all go away, and parents being able to let go and let their child really grow. And I think that we've gotten away from that. I think parents are well-meaning, but trying to solve all their children's problems, and that affects their self-confidence as well.
And also some of the 10 strategies that fail. Maybe you can just cover some of those and how can they be corrected?
I think one of the things that really just fails overall is that, when parents aren't connected, when it's like roommates living in a house, when they're not checking in unless there's a problem. I think that's really the biggest parenting fail, if you want to call it that, is that you have to be able to be present. You have to be able to be checking in.
Okay. All right. And do you think also too that pressure with what's going on as well too is also affecting as well? Because I remember back in the day where it's like, you always had the mom at the home and then dad was always at work and everybody was commuting. And then all of a sudden, mom had to go to work and dad had to go to work. And all of a sudden it's like, each one were taking on two, three, four jobs and everything else. And that was also creating a lot of pressure too. And do you think with the mom and dad just working, do you think that was also teaching the kids to work hard, or was it just like it was affecting the kids that was scaring away from work?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was how the parents handled it. Were they able to put up their own boundaries for work and, be done at work at a certain time and have a work-life balance? And if so, I think they were showing their children how to do it right. When you're locking yourself in your room or the office for hours upon hours and just, head in the work, you're not really showing appropriate, boundaries for work.
Hmm. And also too, how about some other foundations and how some other things that parents and kids need to know about for mental health?
I think that, with the 10 foundations that I named, those are really good building blocks to start with. And that if you have those down, you're able to not have this uphill battle with mental health constantly. So I think it's really important that there's a healthy, lifestyle happening at home and that the family is connected. Family dinner is one of the most important things to do, to be perfectly honest with you. And there's a ton of research behind it. It helps kids improve grades, less likely to use drugs. They need to feel connection. And I think at this point, we've really lost that. Kids are on their devices in their rooms, parents are on their devices in their rooms. And they really need to be able to come together and connect and get outside and be able to enjoy each other.
Hmm. And I think that's important as well too. I remember the days we would just go for a walk in the park or go to a movie or even go to a ball game or even go have pizza or something. It's like, how come they don't do things so simple anymore these days? I guess you wonder about that.
Right. I mean, simple is great. You just need the simple. You need to get back to the basics. But many times these kids are overscheduled and the parents are overscheduled as well. And then it's like, what's the point? If everyone's just busy and running around, what is the point? We need to just enjoy the simple pleasures of life.
Hmm. And then, and of course, how can we help when it comes to combating this problem? What can people get from the book?
I think that they're really going to be able to put in daily habits that change their lifestyle. It's not just about treating the symptoms when you see them. It's not just about treating the anxiety when it comes up. It's that you want to be able to deal with stress better. You want to be able to be more focused. So when you're putting all of these into place, you're in a better starting position. And I think the starting position that most kids are at right now is just so low because they're not sleeping, they're not eating well, they're not hydrated. They're taking on everybody else's responsibilities and feelings and emotions, and they're not staying true to themselves.
Hmm. And where can we find the book at, Mental Health Uncensored?
It's on Amazon in both print and ebook.
Okay. All right. We'll certainly check that out. What's coming up for Keri Cooper and more? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with author Keri Cooper of Mental Health Uncensored, 10 Foundations Every Parent Needs to Know after this time out. We're back with author Keri Cooper of Mental Health Uncensored, 10 Foundations Every Parent Needs to Know, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Also owner of Keri Cooper Holistic Therapy. And also, how can people get in touch with you for holistic therapy or services or anything like that?
Sure. My website's the easiest way, Keri Cooper Holistic Therapy. I'm also on Instagram at Keri Cooper Therapy. And those are the two best ways to get a hold of me.
And also, what can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond, Keri?
That's a great question. So my next book is going to be an actual workbook for teens based on these foundations and principles. So that's what I'm working on next. So stay tuned for that.
We certainly will do so, Keri. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Wow, the biggest influence in my career. I would have to say that it was one of my very early on clinical supervisors. She was just fantastic and wonderful and taught me so much. And I'm always so grateful for those who teach others and give them their time.
That's interesting. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
My best advice to give anybody is to find joy in the small and simple things.
And that's very important as well, too. Once again, we're with author Keri Cooper of Mental Health Uncensored, 10 Foundations Every Parent Needs to Know, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Keri, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to hearing again soon. Learned a lot from you. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch. Love to have you back. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, your website, how do people contact you, and where can people purchase or check out your book?
Yes, my book is on Amazon, Mental Health Uncensored, 10 Foundations Every Parent Needs to Know. So go ahead and head over there to get it. My website is Keri Cooper Holistic Therapy. And those are the best ways to track me down.
We'll certainly do so. Once again, Keri, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best, and you've got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you.